with Amy Kristin Photography. I just wanted to do a quick video to show you how you can edit under eye circles, dark under eye circles in Photoshop. Under eye circles can happen for a various amount of reasons. This particular photo that I'm showing you, it's just a big headshot, so you can kind of see it really well. They can happen just because people have them naturally. This little person has, or had them on this particular day. She just had a little bit of dark under eye circles. It can happen because people are tired, they have them naturally. It can sometimes happen when you're shooting outdoors on a cloudy day. People can get raccoon eyes if they don't have enough light coming into them towards their faces. It can happen no matter what, I guess, if you don't have enough light coming towards somebody's faces. But anyways, this is a good way to kind of edit those under eye circles without losing any skin texture, which some other methods can do. They can make people look too smooth under their eyes. It can make it look a little bit unnatural. And this method doesn't do that. I'm going to be using curves. I'm going to use 2 different layers. I do that just because there are slight variations in skin color. So you'll see when I do that. This photo is one that I just did a quick raw edit on in Lightroom and brought into Photoshop. Normally I do this process about halfway through my Photoshop edit. It's just the way that my workflow is. It doesn't really matter at what point in the edit you do it, so I'm just going to show it to you on this photo, which has been completely unedited otherwise in Photoshop. This is obviously a studio shot. It was edited, or shot, I mean, with an Octabox camera right here. And even with that light, like I said, this person just does have slight dark under eye circles. It can happen when people are tired, when they don't feel good. Again, it can happen naturally. So I'm going to show you what I do to fix that. So I'm going to open a curves layer. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm actually clicked. This is clicked on the mask here, but I'm going to click on the layer itself. And I'm going to double click on this eyedropper tool to bring up the color picker. And I'm actually going to do this eye first, her camera left eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on an area of good color skin, meaning the color that I want the dark circle to kind of be. So I'm going to click right here. This is a lighter area of skin. Just click on it once, hit OK. It's going to ask me if I want to save the new target colors as default, and I'm going to hit no. Then I'm going to take my dropper tool again, and I'm going to click twice on the darker area, which is going to make everything look really weird. It's really turning everything the color that I picked before. So I'm going to click on the mask, invert the mask. I'm on a Mac, so I hit Command I. You do Control I on a PC. Hit B for my brush tool. I'm going to change my brush opacity. Normally I do this at anywhere between like 20 and 40%. Hers aren't terribly bad, so let's go for like 32% on the brush. Just try it out and see what happens. So I'm going to zoom in a little, make sure that I have a soft brush, and I'm going to make sure that I have a white brush. I just hit D from because my brush before, if you saw it was gray. What D brings it back to the defaults of black and white on your mask. I'm going to just make my brush a little bit bigger and just kind of click on these areas here under her eyes. And what you can see what this is doing is it's lightening them up some. It's turning them basically the color of the color that I picked. So if I turn this layer off, you can see when it was darker. Turn it on, this is when it's lighter. If I decide that this is a little bit too bright, you can actually lower the opacity of the layer itself. You could bring it down to say like 80% if you wanted to. So then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the next eye. I'm going to do another curves layer. I am going to make sure I'm clicked on, you have to make sure you're clicked on the layer itself. If you click on the mask, this won't work. Double click on my eyedropper tool. I'm going to click on this lighter area of skin down here. Hit OK. No, we don't want to save them as defaults. Double click on this darker area here. And then I'm going to go over to my mask, invert my mask, do Command I on my Mac, Control I on your PC, hit B to select my brush tool. I'm going to keep the opacity of the brush the same for this eye, around 32%. I'm just going to click here. And if you need to make your brush smaller, you can just use your bracket keys to make it a little bit smaller. And just kind of click in that area. And you don't want to make it look too obvious. You know, you don't want to make it look too bright or anything like that. If you do feel that you're not getting enough coverage and your layer opacity is at 100%, you can actually up the opacity of your brush itself. You can bring it up. Like I said, I usually do 20 to 40, but you can play around with opacity. So again, I'm going to turn off this layer. You can see, and now that's with the trick. And if we go into the history, You can see this is the before on this photo, and then this is the after we fixed her eyes, or corrected the under eye circles. And if you zoom in, you can still see that all the texture is there, all the skin texture is there, nothing looks too fake or smooth, but we did correct that color to make the under eye circles look less. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Have a good day.